iManage, a leader in advanced artificial intelligence and powerful document and email management, recently announced the end of life, or EOL, for all 9X versions of its classic clients and add-ons. This move will end support for its core legacy products after December 2023, with the introduction of the latest iManage Work 10 iteration. For firms that are already in the cloud or working with iManage 10X versions, not much will change. However, for firms and organizations still operating on-prem with iManage 9X software, changes are on the horizon. Organizations will need to plan roadmaps, train users, and leverage technology to meet these changes head-on. iManage Work 10 will offer improved security and responsiveness, as well as the ability to view and edit matters, documents, and projects from anywhere, along with much more.
The Work 10 interface itself is in a different league than our old, file site, desk site, legacy products. We're going from a COM integrated system that causes a lot of slowdowns on PCs. It could cause problems conflicting with other integrated products you have, to a fully mobile HTML5 compliant system. It really doesn't matter if I'm working on my laptop, I'm inside of Outlook, any web interface, my phone. I have a single interface. I only have to learn one. I don't have to know multiple things. Once I learn that one interface, whether I'm at home on my laptop, I'm traveling, I have the ability to access everything I need at any time in a full mobile platform.
So the value adds for the cloud are pretty self-explanatory, honestly. So iManage have been quite open about the fact that there will be some features that are only cloud available. So for example, all of the integrations with 365 Online, they will only be in the cloud. Their Teams app will only be available to cloud customers for the moment. It also helps with not just user features, but however also for the IT staff, for the IT directors. You get the advantages of all of the security and encryption layers of the iManage cloud that you don't have to worry about anymore. You also have far easier upgrades with no downtime in the iManage cloud. And you also have the ability to free up your staff who might have been working day to day to keep iManage going, to keep the BAU chugging along. They can now be used in different resources within the firm. They can be reallocated. So that's the cloud side of things. On premises, obviously you have full control of your data. It's sat within your data center. However, you do have to then look after it. So that's why we do then tend to see most firms going towards the cloud. The general market movement is towards the cloud. Most of our customers it's definitely in their roadmap, whether it's this year, whether it's 5 years, everybody is moving towards that goal. However, there are some factors that might be making people stay on-prem. So those factors include data residency. Obviously, iManage has data centers all over the world, but if there's not one in a particular region, then it might be that the data still has to remain on premises. It's also around where the project takes precedent. If a client has just upgraded to 10 on premises, it might be that they are focusing all of their energy on a different project. They're maybe doing a PMS replacement, a CRM replacement, something like that. They just don't have the internal resources for a cloud migration at the moment. So iManage have been very clear that on premises will still be available. However, the direction of the market movement is towards the iManage cloud.
If your organization plans to stay on-prem, you'll need to plan your upgrade to the Work 10 server to fully leverage the Work 10 client. This will include your DMS, communications platforms, and a newly added preview server. Any third-party applications your organization utilizes will need to be updated and confirmed that they are compatible with Work 10. For organizations that plan to remain on-prem and have relied on IDLE Indexer in the past, it's time to consider upgrading to Raven Indexer. Unlike IDLE, Raven should be relatively easy to provision hardware for, as it's virtualization friendly.
It is quite different. There are a couple of things that do align. So as we spoke about before, making sure that your integrations are universal API compliant is a big point. Regardless of whether you're moving to the cloud or whether you're going to stay on premises, the COM API and the V1 API will be end of life. V1 API is the end of life of this year, and then the COM API is next year. So by next year, you need to make sure that all of your integrations are using the universal API. That is the same if you move to the iManage cloud. The iManage cloud uses the universal API, and you can only integrate using that API.
While the iManage end of life doesn't mean the end of on-prem operations, it does mean changes are on the way for your day-to-day. That's why we recommend an easier course of action: migrating to the iManage cloud. Moving to the cloud is the simplest way to handle this transition. When migrating to the iManage cloud, the Work 10 server components and the cloud search service will be part of the process as well. This transition also carries with it various benefits to both your teams and organization at large, as a cloud-based environment is more conducive for a modern hybrid workforce. For instance, your IT teams can focus on more high-value tasks as their need to perform administrative tasks will be minimized.
Moving into the cloud itself, the life, the experience, everything the users and, even the IT admins are going to see, we want to factor in, you're going to reduce your downtime, number one. The cloud's got 4 nines of uptime. You don't have to worry about an internal server failure. You don't have to worry about, is my data backed up? iManage is replicating your data to multiple locations to make sure you are current, up-to-date, and there is no data loss. From the other perspective, you're getting your 24/7 support from the iManage Cloud team. Something goes wrong, they're going to know before you do. They're going to start fixing it before you find out. As well as an IT resource, by moving to the cloud, you have the ability to reach out to iManage directly. We're having end-user problems. You open a ticket. Their support team is very responsive, and they get back to you in a timely manner to help you fix your problem. There's less time spent on overhead fixing different products, different issues. My indexer went down when you move to the cloud. You don't have to worry about these facets, bringing your business down and losing revenue for your company.
There are now capabilities in Cloud iManage that just simply aren't available for the on-premises platform. And the most obvious and best known one is for multi-region firms. So if you operate in the US, in Canada, Europe, and Asia, there is a significantly improved integration of your regional document management systems. It's transparent to the users. I'm connected in the Americas, but I see the Asia matters and the Europe matters seamlessly through my Work 10 interface. And that's just for my multinational clients, that's just such an amazing improvement over the current state. So that one really stands out, in particular if you're a regional client. iManage, generally speaking, is doing all of their significant innovation now in Cloud iManage, and ultimately you're positioning yourself to receive the benefits of the broader platform by moving to Cloud iManage now. And you're offloading, the classic reasons one might move to the cloud, which is offloading the on-premises management of the systems. I think most of my clients, frankly, are quite good at that, and the advantages of moving to the cloud are pretty negligible on that space. But having once moved to the cloud, you no longer have to deal with upgrades. And I'd say most firms really struggle to stay current with the platform. Now it's no longer an option. iManage will do the upgrades for you. The clients will, depending on how you implement them, upgrade themselves to the new platform, and you get to enjoy the benefits of iManage's genuinely great innovation in the user experience space in Cloud iManage without having to do outages and without having to call me to prepare for your backend upgrades. That all becomes something that happens just as part of your subscription, and I think that's really compelling, frankly.
So, with some of these migrations, considerations, people need to factor in everything takes time. Some people think, hey, I'm moving to the cloud, I'm signed off, let's get me there, next week we'll cut over. It doesn't work like that.
Prior to migrating, your firm will need to evaluate the current desktop.
First of all, anybody who runs iManage I'll just flat out say, anybody who's running iManage right now should absolutely be actually executing a clearly defined project plan and be well on their way to starting work on Work 10, and if they're remaining on premises, replacing Idle with Raven. I'm assuming everyone who would be considering a move to the cloud will go to Cloud iManage, which is the REST platform. So the first thing everybody needs to do is get onto Work 10 and get rid of all COM integrations and be 100% REST firm-wide before going to the cloud.
Verify impact on third-party apps.
I think most firms will find that much of their existing platform is ready for the cloud, but in some respects, some of the significant moving parts that firms have relied on, things like workspace generation and workspace management. Vendors either are not providing a REST version of that client, or it's not available yet. So in that respect, I think Prosperaware is way ahead of the ball game. They've seen this coming for a long time, and CAM is a cloud native application that's never spoken anything but the REST API when it talks to iManage.
Cleanse bad data.
Yeah, if you look at it from the cleaning out the closet perspective, we all have it. We all have something, that drawer in the house that we're gonna pile things in for years to years. I'm gonna get to that next year, and you never do. Same thing goes with your data, with your users, things along those lines. You've been building them for years and years. You're gonna keep saying, I'm gonna clean it, I'm gonna clean it. Now is the time. You're moving, you're making a proper move. Use the tools at your disposal. Use your partner integrators. Use the products created by other companies. Get your data as clean as possible so you have a clean slate and it can be easier to maintain going forward.
Test and train users.
We want to make sure that the IT staff is covered, can handle any questions, comments, concerns that could come in. You want to dive through any issues. Most testing periods are anywhere 2 to 3 weeks, and you can't just have a single person test. You need the eyes from multiple people across the organization. Everyone works differently. Everyone has a different opinion on whose way of working is correct. We need to try to maximize the results by getting a consensus around what works best for everybody moving forward.
We also see that the technical build of a 10 client isn't the most time consuming. It's a pretty well trodden path. It's something that we're doing on a daily basis. But the actual time consuming part of the project is the rolling out of it. And the reason I say this is because we need to make sure that a firm's change management, that a firm's training, that their comms, that their user adoption strategy is all well defined and really well aligned, so that the whole business is giving the same message to the end users, and really that they're getting the most out of their project and out of their investment.
Changes, enhancements, all these things take place through your whole cloud journey. Even once you're in the cloud, you may decide, hey, we need to add in an ethical wall module. We need to add in other products to replace, current functionality that is end of life, like Workspace Gen, the client load table. You need to use other products. Prosperaware's CAM CB1 plan or their C1 plan, or any of these plans can help alleviate these type of blockages that could stop a function you're used to from moving on. The other factor you need to consider is updates being made all the time to make this system better for the user interface. You want to consider retraining your people, giving them refresher courses. It's not move, stop. Let's move and keep moving forward. Let's make sure our people can do their jobs to the best of the ability. A new feature came out, we don't understand. Reach out to your implementation, your training partner. Get more details. Do this type of work. Train your people, and they will use the system to the best of its ability.
So there are plenty of tools available in the market that integrate with 10. So any vendor that is looking to be a iManage integration, it is moving towards the universal API. So whether that be sort of Docs Corp, legacy Docs Corp products through Litera, all 10 compatible. Anybody out there who is looking to have a long-standing relationship and integration with iManage is moving towards the universal API, so that integration will still stand. In terms of a cloud migration and what's out there to help you with that, there's a few different points to make on that. So the first being that the actual cloud migration, the actual copying of documents from on-premise into the cloud isn't the hard part of a cloud migration now. There are plenty of tools in the market, like the Prosperaware Cloud Migrator, that allows you. They're robust, they're reliable, they're proven time and time again. They will copy your documents, they will copy all of your metadata, and they will put them into the iManage cloud as they should be. We tend to see that the hardest part around a cloud migration is stuff like making sure that people are ready to move to the cloud, making sure that the cloud design is done correctly, and then making sure that the deployment, user adoption is all aligned and done well, and also that firms are getting the most out of their cloud subscription. There are then obviously your tools for your management of your iManage cloud system. So stuff like CAM comes in at that point, to be able to manage the platform without having direct access to your SQL and losing that sort of direct hands-on access to the iManage cloud. You have to rely on a third-party system to be able to administer the system.
Litera Governance offers CAM, a software as a service platform, to serve as the missing layer of governance and provisioning to ensure your workspaces are secure and ordered. CAM integrates with Microsoft 365, Microsoft Teams, SharePoint Online, OneDrive, OneNote, Planner, Lists, as well as iManage, NetDocuments, HighQ, file shares, and more to come. With Litera Governance, your move to the iManage Cloud or iManage Work 10 will be seamless and secure.